Hello, welcome to this week's How's the Market, Pensacola. Well, Russia attacks Ukraine and it's good for real estate? What? Okay, let me explain. I don't think there's hardly anything good about Russia attacking Ukraine. I think the entire globe agrees that Putin kind of screwed up on that. But what I mean by it is because of the uncertainty in the globe now, the feds are talking about pumping the brakes on raising rates. So they may raise them a little slower than anticipated before the attack. Do I applaud the attack so we can pump the brakes? Absolutely not. Are we still seeing a massive surge in demand because we know the rate raise is coming? Absolutely. This past weekend, I put on 2 properties. I put on one under the 150 mark, and I literally got a phone call from the neighbor asking me when I will be accepting an offer because there were 16 cars up and down that street. I put on another one under the 250 mark, like 230 is where we listed. Between the two, when I put the 2 properties on the market, within 6 hours, over the 2 now, I had 89 showing requests from other agents, people that are wanting me to show it to them, 89 requests in 4 hours. Because there's not much inventory at that point that is actually livable. So there is a bunch of demand. We're going to see the demand. I talk about the supply side on this. This show really kind of lets everybody know what the supply side is so you can kind of make decisions accordingly. But the demand side is absolutely high, and part of it is because everybody knows rates are going to rise. And so the buyers are out there trying to get properties now before those rates start to rise and it becomes less and less affordable. With demand being high and supply continuing to be low, we're going to see values continue to increase. I don't think we're going to see double digits this year, but the way things are going here in February and March, I know it's the spring buying season, so I'm kind of discounting it a little. But man, if things are going the way they're going now, yeah, we may see another year of double digit appreciation in real estate this year. So it's crazy. I've talked to a few sellers that are looking at selling portfolios they have held for years, going, I think it's just a really good time to sell. It is. You're getting top dollar for stuff right now. But I say that hesitantly because I know when I say it that some buyers are going to go, well, do I need to wait? Oh, I heard it over the weekend too. I'm just waiting for the crash. You're going to be waiting quite a while. You're going to be waiting quite a while, especially in our area, because there's nothing pointing to one. Nothing. Are the appreciations continuing to rise rapidly? Yeah. Have you left the Panhandle though? Go down to Tampa Bay and say you want to buy something under 300, and you'll get that deer in the headlight look. Like, what? Really? You got to go way out. It's Pasco, Hernando County. You got to go way north. But Hillsboro, you're not getting that. Orange County, Orlando, you're not getting that. So even though prices have risen here, there's some properties, I've got some investors that are like, man, I miss the days where I could buy this for $70,000. I'm like, yeah, me too. I bought some for $70,000 that I'm getting offered $180,000, almost $200,000 for now. I'm not selling it because it's a great rental, but I miss those days too, but that's just the Panhandle starting to catch up. But we are still well below the rest of the state. So keep that in mind. Buyers, I know, if I talk to buyers directly, I know the frustration out there. I have some buyers that are frustrated because they've put in offers, lost, put in offers, lost, put in offers, lost. I get the frustration. I understand it. It's part of this market right now, especially that one that was under 150. I got a ton of phone calls going, we have lost everything we're looking for. And it's the first time home buyers. And you'll see when I start talking about the numbers, how those inventory numbers are just way low. Way low. And so it's extremely frustrating. I get it. That's just going to be part of it. You need to be prepared for that when you go out looking for a property. But then you will get one. Learn. The one that I had under 150 when some people wrote offers well below list price. I literally wanted to call the other person up and go, what? How can you advise them of that? Because that makes no sense in this marketplace. Writing something below list price under $150,000 that's livable makes no sense in this marketplace. It just doesn't. You're not going to get it. So anyways, I know that we were going to talk about supply side here. But I wanted to kind of bring up demand because that's what's really driving a lot of this. And you'll see it with our inventory levels because, well, they're down a little bit. Let's look over to Escambia and Santa Rosa County now. Let's go. All right, if you don't know, I always start the show off with this slide right here. It says if you have between 6 and 7 months worth of inventory, you have what's called a neutral market. Anything greater than 7 months is considered a buyer's market. Anything less is considered a seller. Less than 6, considered a seller's market. What the slide doesn't say, anything greater than 9, hyper buyers. Anything less than 3, hyper sellers. Let's jump over to Escambia County first. Under 400 active total. Under 400 active total. Here's that price when I was talking about 100,000 to 150,000. When we ran this report, there was 29 active. 29 active, less than a month's inventory. Okay, less than a month's inventory. Things are selling 97 to 99% on this. Now, Shane, you just told me that you're not going to get anything under list in that price point. You're right, but if you go back and listen, I said livable, a good condition. Okay, now I'm not talking about great condition. You're not getting granite countertops and stainless steel and all the other stuff, but good condition, livable, that you could move in tomorrow. You know, roofs new, stuff like that. That's going to sell over list. These other ones that are selling under have got some issues. So, because if you look at the 150,000 and 200,000 mark, things are selling for 100% to 102%, and there's only 0.5 months worth of inventory there. You got to get up to $400,000 to get under 1 month's inventory. So every $50,000 bracket up to $400,000 is under a month. Looks like $400,000 to $450,000 has grown some because that's always been in the ones. And the fact that I see a 2 there, that's interesting little growth for that particular segment. $500,000 to $550,000 has been a pocket. Last I saw this was 2.7, so we have seen some of that stuff take down. I've actually got one coming in this bracket this week. So we'll be. I'm definitely going to be paying attention to this little pocket because I've talked about that pocket for the last 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm going to be interested to see how that pocket works as well. And then it looks like our luxury 700,000 is 2.7. That's the highest inventory based off of demand. Our highest inventory numbers is the 300,000 to 350,000 with 58 active. But like I've said for the last few weeks, a lot of that is builders. So they'll put 1 active, sell 10 properties. But they keep that 1 active for 6 months or whatever, just to show the model. Makes sense? Let's jump over to Santa Rosa County. Look at this. First time I've seen this since I started the show. There is nothing in Santa Rosa County under $100,000. Nothing. I've seen it under 50 to where there was 0, but we have no listings under $100,000 at all. We've only got 4 listings under 150. You get up to 200,000, you add these two together, I got 7 listings. So all the way up to $200,000 in Santa Rosa County, I've got 7 listings total. Remember, I've said, because people look at me sometimes or I get messages going, you keep saying something about running out of inventory. Well, that's what's happening right here. If I don't get more listings, I run out of inventory. Well, it just happened. I have nothing under 100,000. Under 250,000, if you add them all up, I've got 13 properties active right now. So 0.6 months, 0.2 months, 0.2 months. You get up to the 350 to 400,000. I'm actually up to a month's inventory, but that is the highest number, 37 total. Then we drop back down, and then luxury, I've got 43. So I guess luxury technically is the higher one with 43 actives, and I got 2.6 months because of demand there. Total properties, we have gone down to 184. That is slightly different from the last few years. Now, 2020, 2021, the whole COVID thing, that changed our marketplace up some. And I kind of talked through that. But if you go back and look when I started this in April of 2019. This was drastically different. Drastically different. There were price points when I started that were hyper buyers. I know we haven't heard that term on the show in a while, except with me explaining what it is. There were price points that were hyper buyers. That's one of the reasons I wanted to kind of document this. It's one of the reasons I do the show, is to kind of document, hey, what's happening? Well, now we're getting anemic in Santa Rosa County, 184 total. It's now I got 706 pending. 706 pending. So anything in Santa Rosa County that's halfway decent is getting gobbled up fairly quickly. If you got anything over there that you're looking to get rid of, let me know. Because we've got buyers that are hunting, and it's insane. Yep, that's it. That's our inventory levels. I always end the show talking about our instant offer program. I got a couple of calls last week about that. Basically, if you don't know what that is, it's when we come in and offer you an instant offer on your property so that you can move out in a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever it takes to get 10 days, whatever it takes to get title in, right? Any condition. That's what a lot of people that are calling me, they're in rough shape. So we talk about that. Hey, this is what an investment group would offer you. If we put it on the market, you may get more, and I can offer you both scenarios. And some people use my instant offer as the floor and then come on the MLS and see if they can get more. And if they can't, which sometimes they hadn't been able to. Everybody says, I've had some people that claim that, hey, every time you come on the MLS, you get more. That's not true. There's sometimes my instant offer is better than what comes on the MLS. But we got to see. So sometimes we got to see if you've got the time. Others, you don't have the time. So we need to go on and just take the instant offer and move on. So it gives you a chance to gauge the market based on what an investor would offer you versus what the MLS will offer. Now, with all that being said, I did want to bring this up. I got 3 phone calls last week from what they call wholesalers. And what a wholesaler is basically they put a property under contract and they try and flip the contract. Let's say I come in and say, I'll give you $100,000 for your house, and you're happy with that. Well, then I put it on with a 45-day or a 60-day close, and then I start calling other people saying, hey, I got this contract at $100,000. Give me 10 grand and you can have it. Give me 20 grand and you can have it. Give me 30 grand and you can have it. Now, the seller doesn't get that. The wholesaler does. Nothing wrong with wholesaling. If you've got the network, that's fine with that, whatever. If it works for all parties, that's fine. The reason I bring it up is because I got 3 phone calls from wholesalers out of South Florida that had properties listed here or not listed. They do not come on the MLS. Most wholesalers are not licensed. Okay? But some are. Some are. I'm not saying all aren't, but some are. And the folks out of Miami were offering the sellers much more than they should. So they were like, hey, here's our instant offer. It's $200,000. We'll give you $200,000. But if you read these contracts, they can get out all the way up to the day of closing. So usually a wholesaler will not close. If they can't find another buyer, either A, they'll drop the price, they'll try and negotiate again. So there's a lot of time wholesalers won't close. So really pay attention. If you're getting long closing dates or something like that, pay attention to who you're talking to, because some of these prices, the wholesalers called me up and said, hey, are you interested in the property? Because we've got it for $200,000. And I know the after repair value of that property, which is what they try and sell to the folks actually buying the property. The after repair value is going to be $450,000. I went, you're out of your tree. There's no way that property comes in at $450,000. No way close. Not even close to $450,000. You would be lucky to get $250,000. And that's pushing it. But they're trying to offer prices and they're not really knowing the difference from the Panhandle to Miami or the Panhandle to, Central Florida, Tampa Bay, Orlando, Gainesville, Jacksonville. These are different markets. But then what they're winding up doing is really ticking off the seller, because now the seller's thinking they're under contract for those 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and then the wholesaler just backs out, uses one of the contingencies to back out. So pay very close attention to your terms on your contract and not just your price. That goes for even buyers in the retail market. Those 2 properties that I listed, we had multiple offers on each. I had 30 plus offers on one, 20 plus offers on the other. I had to go through. One of them came down to the terms. It wasn't the price, it was the terms. The price was just this much difference. It was minute, but the terms were better. So remember, everything in real estate's price and terms. Pay attention to those, because since we've got people that are so super saturated in Miami, so super saturated in Tampa, and I say, wholesalers, real estate investors, they're starting to make their way up here, and they're getting unrealistic thinking that they're still talking about Tampa Bay. They're just not. So pay attention to that, because if you get to one of those, it could be a serious road of frustration, because you're thinking you're going to get $200,000 for the place, and by the time they figure out that that would going to be the after repair value, and I come in and tell you no, in order, it's going to take $80,000 to fix it up, then I may be able to sell it for $220. Well, I've got to make a profit somewhere if I'm doing an instant offer, so you can get $100 or $110, and then you're like, well, this other guy offered me $200. Yeah, well, he didn't close. So pay attention. The most of Florida is getting super saturated with investors because there's so many people moving here. Florida, I'd seen something in Florida Trend the other day that said 2.5 million more households in the next 8 years coming to Florida. So pay attention to it. All right. Didn't mean to scare everybody there at the end. Jeez, Shane. All right. That's what's scary. You know what's scary? The fact that we got nothing under 100,000 in Santa Rosa County. That's scary. You got anything over there? Give me a call so I can get it listed. I can get you probably very top dollar. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and
Don't need no permission.
I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?